So many people have the belief or the idea that running or jogging or very fast walking is a way for them to get fit, lose weight, drop fat, get healthy. And for a large, I wouldn't say a majority, but a large amount of people, that is definitely a thing. Running can be very good for you. However, what I keep seeing a lot is people doing their New Year's resolutions or people who are trying to lose some weight of some sort. But it's people who are really big. If you've got lots of weight to lose, if you are the kind of person that looks down and you're struggling to reach down to your shoelaces, or if you are in the category of obese, okay, if you're there. I really wouldn't recommend running at all. Running would probably be one of the last sports or exercises I would advise anybody that was wanting to turn their life around, or turn their weight around, turn their health around. Because running, or jogging, I should say, is such a high impact sport, and it's so fatiguing as well. You're absolutely shattered from it all. I've just driven past a person jogging at the side of the road, who's definitely in the obese category, and I just want to get out and go, just take up something easier. You've literally gone into the most difficult sport you could do for your body weight. If it's my own advice, I would say take up cycling, take up swimming, go to the gym and lift weights. Cycling is great. There's almost no impact apart from you get a very sore bum. So your joints are fine, your knees are fine, your ankles are fine. Your bum will be sore, but just get some serious padding, and try and do that a couple times a week. Swimming would be the next thing I would advise. Just get into the pool, and not just the bobbing around, like you do at a holiday resort, but actually trying to do some proper lengths. You'll find the first time you do it, you're like, oh yeah, 125 meter pool. Actually trying to go the full length might be quite difficult for you. But again, no impact, still a great full body exercise. And again, I would say the gym, get to the gym and do some actual weightlifting. Don't go on the treadmill, maybe the cross trainer, the elliptical cross trainer. I'd say that's good. Again, low impact. But lift some weights, build up your muscle, build up your cardiovascular strength without causing damage. Because the thing is, even for people who are not overweight or obese, running is still so high impact. It is your knees, your joints, your hips, your back, everything gets an absolute pounding. And one of the hardest things in running, from my own experience, is consistency of not getting, you can train for a week, a month, 2 months, 6 months, and they're like, yeah, I'm really fit, and then you're just broken. The amount of people I know that have just broken themselves after maybe half a year training, they got a new personal record on their half marathon kind of stuff, and then they're just like, oh, my body's broken, I can't walk. Had a friend who literally, she did a half marathon, she's got a fantastic time. She said she crawled over the finish, after she got to the finish line, she had to crawl to her car to drive home, and then she couldn't walk for the rest of the week. She had to go to the doctor says, yeah, your knees are absolutely goosed. And this is a 28-year-old. So I was like, and a slim 28-year-old that did a very fast half marathon in under 2 hours. I was like, wow. So even though you managed to get an amazing time and your body looks like it's prepared for running, like you look like a runner, and you're young, you're destroyed from running. Again, something which you don't necessarily get from... Granted, cycling has its own dangers. If you're on the road, the falling off, the getting hit by cars, the general sense of death everywhere. But swimming, drowning, yeah, that's been an issue. Or the thought of just being in a pool filled with wee, not the best. Gym, just being stared at by other people. Gym is probably the safest place to go. But I would highly advise anybody who is significantly overweight, don't bother with running. If you're like, no, I love it. So that's the thing. Some people go, I really want to be outside. It's a lovely day. It's lovely weather. Again, in Scotland, when we have such bad weather for so long, that when it is good weather, if you've got the mentality of going, I want to go out and enjoy it. Great. Okay. What do you do if you're massively overweight and you want to actually run? What do you do? My advice would be walk. just walk. Just get the miles in. It's not about how fast you do it. It's not about the intensity that you do it. Just get some miles in and build up for the first 2, maybe 3 months of just trying to get mileage in. Give yourself a target of like 10 kilometers a week, or for me just now with my running, I'm trying to make sure to do 20 kilometers every week in running. Granted, I'm doing it with hills, so it's a little bit different. But if you are somebody that's overweight, try to do 2 kilometers, maybe doing that 5 times a week. 3 kilometers every so often as well would be the main thing. And it's more just trying to get the consistency of enjoying that and going out for a walk and trying to, I think what you really need to do is treat yourself as if you are coming back from an injury. Yeah, I think that's a good analogy. If you are massively overweight, treat your body as if you were a runner, but you're coming back from a massive injury, and you've got to treat yourself as delicately as possible. So the slower you go, the less intensity it is, the less fatiguing it is, the less chance of damaging, the less chance of swelling, the less chance of aches and pains, and less chance, more importantly, of eating, compensatory eating. So sometimes you go, I'm going for a run, oh, I'm so out of breath, oh, there's sweat pouring off me, oh, I must have a massive meal replacement shake, glug, 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 glug. But if you can get to the point where I'm just going, yeah, I've just walked for 15, 20 minutes, I don't really need to have a massive meal. Walking 3 kilometers uses almost the same amount of energy as jogging 3 kilometers. Some people will say it's the same. I don't think so. I think we definitely, especially if you're overweight, the impact, the afterburn effect will have, you will burn more calories if you run, but you will be more likely to overeat afterwards. So again, if you want to, if you've got a problem with hunger, lower the intensity of the workouts that you're doing. Try and definitely not do anything that gets you to the point where you're thinking, I need to recover from that. No, you just went for a walk. You're okay. Have a large glass of water. That's what you need, not a protein shake. And in the same vein, think of yourself as somebody who is coming back from an injury. You want to do it as gently as possible, as if you're not trying to damage any knees, any ligaments, any tendons, any IT bands, kind of stuff like that. Once you've done a good 2 months of increasing your walking, the next thing, or also incorporate, is hill walking. Again, very low impact, keeps you slow, but hill walking will increase the intensity. It will increase the intensity, but without necessarily increasing the impact on the body. Walking uphill doesn't cause as much damage as running on the flat, because every step you're moving less and you're still walking, but it's uphill, it's hard. Going down, just take your time. So if you want to increase your intensity without increasing your impact, go for hill walking. If you can, do it on a trail, not on a road. Again, trail, that bit of mud, the tiny little stones, the more that your shoe can compress into it, so the less damage that you're likely to get for that. So yeah, bring on hill walking as much as you can. After that, I would also, but again, really just do cycling. I think that's a far better choice. But again, you're wanting to be outside, start with your walking, bring up the intensity with some hill walking. Then, only after, I would say, once your body's like really starting to adapt to this and you're not feeling that as too much of a strain, then bring on another aspect of run walking. It won't be run walking, jog walking. Walking with a tiny bit of jogging, which again, for a lot of people who do hill running, that's what they do. Like, they walk up the hill, they'll jog for a bit, they'll walk a wee bit longer, they'll jog for a bit. Think of that as the same as if you're going for your normal 2-3 kilometer run. Think, I'm going to walk for the first kilometer, and then I'm going to jog for 20 seconds. And then I'll walk until I feel comfortable again. And then jog for another 20 seconds. And then walk until I'm comfortable again. Again, so the jogging, you're building up the impact, you're building up the potentially the damage that you're doing to it, but you're doing it in such a small interval and giving yourself all the time to recover that it shouldn't cause too much. It shouldn't cause too much fatigue, and it shouldn't cause you to have to do major compensatory eating afterwards. So just trying to get your heart rate a little bit higher without absolutely destroying you. So yeah, my advice when I see people that are very much struggling with their weight. First of all, if you're not into running, don't even think about running. If you're not into cycling, try and do cycling. Cycling, swimming, gym. Far, far better than jogging. If you're going to do stuff outside, go walking. If you want to, after you've done that for several months and you've got a bit of a routine to that, do hill walking. Or you can do hill walking from the start if you're feeling really tough. And then, only then start to do jog walking. So don't think, I'm just going to go for a 5 kilometer jog. Jog. It's like, if anybody had come from an injury, if any long distance runner had like screwed their MCL or their snapped their IT band or something like that, they wouldn't go for a massive jog straight away, just constantly putting pressure after pressure after pressure after pressure through all their knees and their joints and stuff like that. They would tiptoe everywhere. So again, yeah, just slow but consistent. And the more important thing is the consistency, not with your total speed, but your total it's not reps, it's not sets, it's not your intervals. Consistency with your doing it every day. What's the term for that? Your long-term consistency is what I'm trying to say. So hey, I can jog. I went for a 10 kilometer run, and then I took 2 weeks off. You know, you're like, that's not really making your body do much adaptation. It's damaging your body hardcore for 10 kilometers, and then your body's in recovery mode for 2 months afterwards. You're like, that's no good. But if you could do 2 kilometers, 2 kilometers, 2 kilometers, 2 kilometers, your body starts toughening up your ligaments, toughening up your calf muscles, your Achilles. You also start to figure out where your niggles are, where like, oh yeah, I do feel a little bit of pain in my right hip, maybe I need to figure out something there. Instead of doing everything, destroying yourself, and then going, oh, I need to go to a physio, just do a little bit, go, oh yeah, there's a little niggle in my IT band, right, let's figure out what foam rolling, or what stretching we need to do, or what yoga, or what cross-training exercise we need to do to really get benefits out of that. So that's where, again, same with me with the cycling. I went and did a 112 kilometer cycle, and I was broken after it. It took me about 7 hours to do. There's quite a few stops, lots of photos. But suddenly my knee was just like, oh my goodness, my knee's completely destroyed. What's going on? Have I got arthritis? Have I given myself permanent arthritis in my knee? No, I just needed to, one, build up to that distance a lot better, a lot more consistently. But also I figured out that I just had a really tight quad. And all I need to do is a bit of stretching on the quad every day, you know, kind of thing. So again, if you're somebody that's overweight, there's a lot of body parts and bits that will need to adapt to becoming a jogger, if you want to become a jogger. But yeah, large people jogging at the side of the street. Take your time. Do a lot of walking. Go for a hill. Try some cycling.